You've been the PPRO Benue State Command since 2019, at a time when Benue State, one of the states in the north central region, had its security situation labeled as intercommunal or interfaith conflict, to the farmers had as clashes, and people were killed, many displaced. Tell us, just give us a bit of an explainer about how it all started then and how it has evolved over time to where we are today, and that we now hear of armed attacks, which is very rare or uncommon in Benue State.
Okay. I start from the last 10 years. Benue State have had herder-farmer conflict over the years. We are predominantly farmers in Benue. The land is very fertile. So from time to time, people come in to farm. Now, before now, herders come in from the north during the dry seasons to graze. When farmers have harvested their crops and taken home, they come in, graze. Sometimes they pay a token and graze within people's farms, remnants that farmers leave on the farm. They graze there and go back when it's raining season. That was the practice in Benue. But even at that time, there were challenges. Cattle could go into someone's farm, eat up crops. The practice was that traditional rulers or leaders within the community would come in and talk to herders as well as farmers, broker peace within the community. Sometimes the police would not have to come in. But sometimes when it becomes tough, the police will come in and peace would reign. If there's need to arraign in court, the police will arraign in court. This was in practice until sometime in 2017. It became more difficult. Herders and farmers' conflict grew from dialogue in community to attacks in villages. People started coming in and attacking farmers in their villages. Sometimes farmers, criminals within amongst the farmers do go to rustle cattle, and it started going out of hand gradually. And so the problem became too much for the state government. Mm-hmm. Then that brought about the open grazing prohibition law, which says if you have cattle, if you have goats, if you have any animal that could be destructive, ranch them. Resistance to this law created more problems. Some herders say, no, if we ranch our cattle, it becomes difficult for them to feed and all of that. Government started engaging farmers, engaging herders to have a better understanding of what their challenges were and how the government can come in to solve these problems. So we continued. As police officers, deployments upon deployments to stop attacks, to engage herders, to engage farmers. And we were advising the government on the right thing to do. Go on advocacy visits, let people know what the law is about, and all of that. We did all of that from 2017 to 2018. I was still a police officer in the command, so I knew what was happening, how the police were engaging with community heads and all of that to make sure that they accept that law. But it grew. It kept growing. And the police had that challenge of enforcing that law because Benue land is vast. We have the topography favors criminals sometimes. They hide in thick forests, hills, and all of that. So it became challenging. So much of Benue command resources were put in at some point, the force headquarters will come in to support the command. We have had interactions, some summits with herders and farmers. We've spoken. People have been talked to until where we are today. So the challenge is the crisis or the conflict becoming violent. Today is no longer about you have grazed on my land or you have rustled my cattle. Sometimes there are unprovoked attacks. So we began to wonder what is happening. Police officers sent to communities to find out exactly what the problem is. So this is where we are today.
So what have some of your findings or missions to these communities uncovered regarding the true nature of attacks today? Why the attacks, like you said, unprovoked? It was between farmers and herders, but today armed men,
Yes.
seen in viral videos and pictures, will just storm villages and for no reason, just shoot at random and just kill people.
Yes. Now, a lot is happening. Though there are some information that are classified, they might be too early to begin to talk about them. But I know that the police has policemen in the field and we have deployed other measures to gather information about what is happening currently. But as I speak, the command has deployed so many police officers across the state. The force headquarters sent in mobile unit police officers, mobile men from different formations to join us in tackling the current problems. I believe that this is an immediate approach. There is to handle what the sudden rise in attack. After this phase, officers may have gathered intelligence that we will put on the table and deliberate. The first reports will be sent to force headquarters for deliberation. People will come in, senior officers will come in, and then proffer solution to what is happening. It won't continue. It can't continue like this. It has to stop. So, but the command currently is trying to handle this phase of constant attacks on communities. That's what we're doing. That's where we went yesterday with the Commissioner of Police to see the level of deployment of resources that have been sent in to the command by force headquarters. So it won't continue, and more intelligence will be gotten about what is happening. But for now, we've seen people being attacked in communities, and police officers have been deployed to such strategic points to forestall such attacks. While resources are being deployed to find out what is happening. How did we get here? So for now, I may not have details of what is happening, what are the reasons for this attack. But I know in a very short time, the command will have such reports.
Yes. Now, talking about how Benue State arrived at this point, I wanted to ask, what is the level of intelligence gathering and sharing between the Benue State Police Command and neighboring states? Nasarawa State, Plateau, you kind of have this similar security challenge or challenges.
Yes.
What is the coordination and maybe synergy or synchronization of efforts, response efforts like amongst the states?
As a police command, I'm aware that we relate closely with the CP of Nasarawa State, the CP of Taraba State. This is where our challenges are coming from. And I know that they are on ground too. They've been working together to make sure that we curtail what is happening. What is happening would have been bigger than this.
If there was not this enough cooperation.
Yes. If nothing had been done, it would have been worse than this. So I know that there's that understanding between Nasarawa, Benue, and Taraba in tackling this crisis. as police officers. But it's not something for the police alone. It's something that should involve other stakeholders, other agencies. Now, I also understand that we have a joint task force, Operation Wildstroke, that the police, the DSS, and the military, other formations are part of. They are also working across the states. So we've been doing this together. And that's why we have not been overrun by banditry or whatever name can be given to this group of persons that have decided to terrorize people.
Mm.
Yeah.
So if I'm not mistaken, I think a couple of weeks ago, the state governor, Reverend Father Dr. Hyacinth Alias said that the attackers, according to reports, are foreigners from neighboring West African countries. Can you speak to that? How valid are these just claims, or it's something the police is looking into?
These issues were raised in the last attacks, particularly in the axis of Kwande and Okom. The people on ground within those places,
villagers,
yes, they raised this concern that the people we are seeing don't look like
the herders they used to
know. Yes, the herders used to come in with cattle and steers. These ones are coming in with AK-47 without cattle. This was the alarm that was raised before the last deployment that happened. So I think that is being looked into. The command got that report, and like I said, all resources sent to the command have been deployed. Both intelligence gathering, both operations to forestall attacks in these communities. It's ongoing. So we hope to, get more information about what is happening. And if it's beyond what the police can do alone, we will involve other authorities that will help us in handling it.
So some of the few stakeholders that we have spoken to praised the police for what is being done, at least to try to, restore calm and order in some of these affected communities. Yeah. But among the concerns they raised, I think two, but the first was the fact that there's not been any mention of a massive arrest of perpetrators of these crimes and prosecution.
Yeah, police operations may not always be the way the people want it to be. It's not all about arrests. Operations are not about when we go to the bush, we arrest the people and arraign in court. This kind of operations may take a different face. If you carry an AK-47 and engage a police officer with an AK-47, it's either he will subdue you, neutralize you, or you will retreat to where you are coming from. And then they will have cause to, review the situation, review the operations from time to time, and then results will come up. But the people expect that we just go into these people, arrest them, come out and parade them, show them to the public. This is who we have arrested. Sure, if we make arrests, we will let them know that we have made arrests. But if we also close down our borders for people to stop coming in, at least we have done something to stop further attacks. That could be a first measure. And sometimes when we go in for operations, we have cause to say, okay, we have come in. If you want peace, surrender and go back to lawful duties. But if you don't want peace, in the next 1 or 2 days, we will be engaging you. If these persons decide to lay their arms and go away, it's another way of fighting.
Have you had some of these incidents where they lay down their weapons and...
No, but I know that when police teams arrive such environments, the first thing to do is to make announcements. If you want peace and you have arms, lay them down. Let's talk. What is your problem? The police will do that first. Then when people refuse to obey law or come out to say what they want to say, the police will eventually engage them. And for the past 1 week since we had deployment, we have relative calm in the communities. We've had attempts, people attempting to attack communities and engaging the police, particularly in Ayilamo. That's the boundary between Taraba and Benue. We've had some persons from that forest come out and make attempts to engage police officers, and they were repelled eventually. But we are communicating with Taraba and Nasarawa State. And I know that over time, we need time to carry out these operations and report to the people what is happening in these places. So in a very short time, reports will start coming out about operations that have happened there.
Okay. So we are almost approaching the end of this interview, but I wanted to reiterate that for these stakeholders of victims that we spoke to, their argument was that if there were prosecutions, maybe, just maybe, it would deter further attacks. Just maybe. Maybe that's their thinking, but like you said, that's not how police operate and that's not how the law works, but that's their argument.
Now, if we have persons arrested, definitely there will be prosecutions. But when we engage people who are willing to fight the police and possibly maybe they lost their lives in the course of that operation, there won't be need for prosecution because the people won't be there in the court for prosecution. But like I said, we just started these operations. In a very short time, whatever is happening in the villages will be brought to the notice of the people. But for now, police officers have been deployed to go there, assess the situation, and apply the best apply the best means of handling such situations. That's what we have at the moment.
So is the deployment permanent, temporary? And if it's temporary, what is the duration of the deployment? Because like in Plateau State, some community members said that deployments were made, but some of them only lasted a week or two. And the moment the police officers or the tactical squad that were deployed left the areas, the attackers stormed these villages again, killed, and even caused more havoc. So what is the arrangement like in Benue State?
In Benue State, I think that there will be no withdrawal in a very short time. The orders given to the officers is for them to go, assess the situation, and do their best to stop attacks, report back to the command for next actions that will be taken. So it won't be a 1 week, 2 week, or 1 month approach to issues. They will be there for a long time. Now, my advice to community members is to cooperate with police officers and give them the information that they need to know. Some people need to know, they need to understand the terrain. They need to understand routes, entrance and exit routes within these communities, so that they will be properly deployed. And then they will also understand the way in which these attackers operate. Do they have seasons? What routes do they come in through? And all of that. If they cooperate with police officers, these details will be brought to bear so everybody to know. And then they will send it to the same headquarters. And better measures will be put in place to checkmate what is happening. But if we approach it by just sending them away, and then we come back and begin our everyday activities, they will definitely come back. So it will be addressed. And it's not just a state issue, like I said. There's collaboration among other states.
Neighboring states.
Yes.
And finally, madam, the police is supposed to be everyone's friend, as the police is a friend. I think that's the motto.
Yes.
But then also people fear that oftentimes the people with credible information that and who are reliable usually will end up in the suspect when they share such information. So sometimes people are scared of approaching the police with information that will really have impactful dimensions in the security context, be it in Benue or across the country or whatever it is anyways.
I don't think we'll have that challenge in Benue. Like I told you earlier, in the past 6 years of my experience, the command is getting closer and closer and closer to the people. And we have closed that gap. We don't really have difficulty getting information as a command. People come in to give us information. The problem we're having is that our problems, when we tackle them, from the point with which we are seeing them, criminals will divert our attention and begin to do something else to distract us from where, not because we are not getting information. Like I told you earlier, it was herder-farmer conflict. It grew from herder-farmer conflict to unprovoked attacks. So it is not because we are not sharing enough information with herders and with farmers. It's because the challenge has changed. So we had to change our style. So we don't have problem with getting information from members of the public. They are willing to share information even on social media, particularly in Benue State. We don't have problems with that.
So for Benue State, there's a good rapport between the community and the police.
Yes. We don't have that.
100%.
Yes.
I think one of the last few questions, the first of the two, would be whether the police is rethinking its media approach to the parading of suspects, which is an old practice, and now considering social media or the new media trend.
We thought that's true. As I speak, we have an order ordering all public relations officers and commissioners of police to desist from parading suspects. We have an order, and nobody's doing that anywhere in Nigeria. No police officer is doing that as we speak. So we no longer parade suspects. We can tell members of the public about our achievements without parading suspects. That's what we do now.
So is that why there is a discontent in the community, and they're calling for, they want this show? Is it the people feel unsatisfied or dissatisfied?
I think there's need for an enlightenment. Members of the public need to know why we've stopped parading suspects. People feel we're trying to protect suspects.
Exactly.
We're protecting them too much, but we're not trying to protect them and keep them doing those crimes. We are just obeying the law. The law says they remain innocent until proven guilty. So bringing them to the public, though we don't bring them, even before now, we don't bring them out as convicts. We bring them out as suspects. The members of the public want to see us do that. They want to say, we have 20 people. They are here. They say, this is my neighbor. This is this is that. That's what they want. But the force is saying no to that, and there's no way we can go about doing it. But I want to assure them that we're still doing our job, irrespective of such parades. Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.